It's cookie time.
So pardon my manners, just something about you turns me to a savage.
Hey guys, welcome back, and I'm the chef Kage. Hope you're doing well. Today we are going to bake some cookies, chocolate chip cookies, one of my favorite desserts. And without further ado, let's get straight into it. Okay, now you take a large bowl, preferably steel, and add about 2 tablespoons of butter and start creaming the butter. It would be a good thing if you used a stand mixer or a motorized whisk like this one. And after a little bit of creaming, we are going to add sugar. That is about one third or 1/4 of a cup of sugar that I added at one time. In total, we need 2 cups of sugar. Now I'm going to change the whisk attachment from dough to actual whisk because that works better. Although it does result in a sugar cloud being formed, that's why I'm adding in batches, because I don't want a sugar cloud in my kitchen. You should too. Now we are going to add rest of our sugar, rest 1 cup of the sugar, and cream the butter. Just keep whisking it. It would take hardly 5 to 6 minutes with a motorized whisk. And please forgive me for the focus settings and everything, because this is my first time recording from my DSLR, and yeah, I am not pretty good with manual focuses, and autofocus is apparently not working. I know why. So with the butter creamed after 5 minutes, this is better footage. You are going to add your eggs. Two eggs. The eggs should be cold, not room temperature, but cold. And whisk them up. Mix them with butter, and just really put air into it so that you have light cookies which are chewy as well, which are really light as well. Now I'm going to add the rest 1 cup, because generally you add brown sugar at this point, but I'm not using brown sugar. I like blonde cookies, so 1 cup of more sugar. And with your eggs creamed, we are going to move on to our dry ingredients. We are going to add 1 and 1/3 cup of flour. Exactly, that becomes 11.5 ounces of flour if you're really into exact measurements. 1 1/3 cup of flour, and changing cups here take some time. Okay, flour is in, and in this we are going to add half a teaspoon of salt, or as much salt as you like, doesn't really matter. I'm going to put half a teaspoon of salt. That amplifies the chocolate flavor, amazing. And cinnamon, like I'm making this in the winter, the warmth that cinnamon gives is amazing. So, and also 1/2 teaspoon of baking soda. Now with all the dry ingredients in, take a rubber spatula and just fold the ingredients in. With everything nice and folded, you are going to take our wet ingredients and put our dry ingredients in our wet ingredients. Get our wet ingredients focused and just whisk them a little bit more, and slowly but steadily start putting the wet ingredients in, and yes, whisk them if you like chewier cookies, whisk them at a higher speed so that the gluten develops faster. I'm going to whisk it as the minimum speed, because crunchy cookies are much better than chewy cookies in my opinion. Although yes, some chew is needed for the gooey ones, which these are going to be gooey ones. Add all of your dry ingredients and whisk them till you find. Now at this stage the dough is too wet, so you can add more flour as you want. Like, I usually work this way. I take a base recipe and see if it fits my ingredient, because the size of the egg really matters in this one, and my eggs, I guess, were huge. So I'm going to add some more flour, about half a cup of more flour in batches, and fold it in so that I can get a desirable consistency of the dough I want. And you see, the cool lights are here. I have a backlight which I'm using to just change colors. It's awesome. That's the whole half cup of flour that I would need, that I've put in the dough, and to fold it in with the spatula. Seeing everything just incorporates well. And another light change. It's really fun doing these light changes. Okay, so now we are going to move to a chocolate. You see that red reflection? That's the light. I have some new equipment. You might see improvement. Now here's the chocolate. Finally found it. Yeah. We are going to chop this up, and since a regular knife isn't going to cut it, because they are not sharp enough, I realized I need to really sharpen my knives. We're going to get the cleaver. I know it's not really made for chopping chocolate, it's more of a bread knives thing, but I need to sharpen my knives. Put into big chunks or small chunks, however you want. I like big chunks in my cookies. Put them in the bowl and get on to the second bar. And chop your second bar up. Again into chunks. Equal size doesn't matter in here. I'll leave that little bar there behind my that for myself. Dark chocolate is yummy. I'm going to eat it. And oh gosh. The thing that just fell was the light. Really sorry for that, but yeah, the chocolate all chopped up. You're going to put in the bowl and take a dough, put in the chocolate and fold it in. Now you're going to rest the dough for at least an hour. Overnight, it's amazing. For an hour, yeah. For an hour, acceptable. Overnight, it is amazing. If you set it overnight, it's amazing. After an hour, we are here with a baking tray. And yes, I'm finally using a baking tray because I got an oven. Okay, so now you're going to make big pucks of cookie dough like this. Just make a sphere and just press it in the middle to make a puck. Reasonably, big. I guess a cricket ball size would be too big, a golf ball size would be too small. a ice hockey puck is the perfect size. Okay, so just make these, and again, even if these are unevenly sized, doesn't matter, just space them evenly so that they have equal spreading space. So 6 at a time is like the size I'm going with. 6 at a time can only be done. If you go with smaller cookies, you can do 8 at a time or even 10 at a time if you go extremely small. This is done. You're going to pop it in the oven for at 100 degrees Celsius, 160 degrees Celsius for 15 minutes. And that's about it for the cookies baking part. You just wait for the bake for 15 minutes. Again, 160 degrees Celsius for 15 minutes. Any higher than that, the cookies would dry out. And now the cookies are done. Look at that. I said I like brown cookies. The lights off. Boom. That's the backlight I'm using with the fun colors. Okay. Now you also let them cook for half an hour at least, which I have. And not even half an hour, 10 minutes would do in this cold environment. Take a spatula and start putting it into a plate. I'm going to use this, fancy-ish white glass plate for my plating. You will see it in a short while. See, this is in the end of the frame. That's my fancy short glass plate. And just pop it out of the parchment paper. Parchment paper wasn't greased at all, because you don't need greasing in parchment paper. It is that broke. Oh, sorry. And this one did break, but I got an advantage for the plating. You'll see how. With this done, and the plate comes into frame. If the broken cookie, just plate it in, just put it in such an angle that it feels like the chocolate is oozing out of the cookie, and it's amazing, bro, how good these cookies are. They're gooey, chewy, crunchy from the outside, crispy from the outside, crunchy from the outside, gooey, chewy from the inside. Amazing flavor, perfect amount of sugar, perfect amount of bitterness from chocolate, and yes, the perfect pair is a glass of milk. And I hope you guys like the video. Please like, share and subscribe. It really helps the channel grow. And this time I really promise I would give a food wars video next time. For now, peace.